afternoon, good evening.
Yeah, so
We'll call it whatever.
it's something today, right? What is your career dilemma? Welcome to the episode 25 of That Career Dilemma Show. What do we do here on That Career Dilemma Show? Well, we address that topic. We talk about how to help you if you're in a career transition, how to help you if you want to find a job, or how to help you if you're trying to launch your own small business or own small venture. That's what we do here. Mark, in short, it's all about how to sell you. With me is Mark Hunter, thesaleshunter.com, and I will introduce him a little bit more detail shortly. But first, I'm so excited, Mark, that this is episode number 25. Who would ever thought?
Well, that means there's been 24 people who have gone before me.
Yeah,
So that's good. That's good.
24 shows. Well, I am thrilled to have Mark here because he is way up here in the league of how to sell anything, and it's just an honor for the show to have him as part of it. Before we get going, I wanted to throw out the commercial messages. In January, I'm going to be teaching courses again, how to sell you, for instance, for Metropolitan Community College. I've done that for about 10 years now. Great group, great people, and all that good stuff. It's too far off to worry about the specific courses and dates. That's on my site, freejobcoaching.com. What is freejobcoaching.com? Send me a resume, and Mark, what I'll do is I review it, and I say, if it were me, I would do this, and this, and that's 100% free.
That's good.
So that's another set of eyes on it, right? Another free job coaching opportunity is to be on this show. As you can see from some of the 24 previous shows, I've had many guests on the show, and we've worked with coaching them and talking to them and helping in that way. Lastly, it outlines some of the Metro stuff. And with all that out of the way, let's get on to helping you sell you. This is Mark Hunter. He is thesaleshunter.com, and he has been around the sales arena and marketing and all that good stuff for, do we say decades?
Decades.
Decades.
We'll just stop right
Decades,
there.
that's enough. Yeah, well.
It's safer for all of us.
Do you remember where you were when Kennedy was shot? That's
Yes, I do. I remember I was probably sitting in a chair smaller than this.
Yeah, in a school just like the one down there. Yeah, so, well, we kind of dated ourselves, but guess what? That voice of experience is hopefully going to help you today, and I know it will because Mark has been there, done that, and I'm just thrilled to have you on the program. Mark, what we're going to do is we talk about your story, and hopefully that will inspire people in their journey as they advance their careers. Secondly, we're going to coach the rhetorical Robert, I call it, and that's people out there what they can do to maybe get their career moving forward. Sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
Well, welcome again. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Have you been in Omaha forever or long?
No.
When did you come to town?
Came to town here about 25 years ago from New Jersey. Where we wanted to raise the kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You targeted Omaha?
We targeted a good family town.
Well, there you go.
Omaha is a good family town.
Worked out for you, huh?
So, yeah.
Well, good schools and all that.
That's right.
Same reason I'm here, too.
And now they're married and gone.
Oh,
and
wow.
Mom and Dad are left here. So
How did that happen? When did that happen?
I allowed them to go out of state to school, so that was another problem.
Well, there you go. And that makes the gone part there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you that's interesting. Targeted Omaha, Nebraska, and some people view it as a life sentence, but I'm new. I'm an import as well, so I understand that. And what were some of your early jobs that you held?
Well, when we moved, I've been in sales really. Let me back up.
You answer that question to the camera. I'm going to get our water.
Okay, you got it. I got into sales purely by accident. I did not go to college to get a job in sales. I really wanted a job in advertising. I got into sales only because of the Seattle Police Department. Yeah, surprisingly enough, the Seattle Police Department put me in sales.
I saw that on your website.
Yeah. And how it came about was I got 4 tickets in the course of about 6 weeks. And so what that meant was I couldn't afford car insurance.
Oh, my.
So what happened was that forced me to get a job that supplied with a company car. Okay? I mean, yeah. And as I
wondered how that happened.
Yeah, and as I like to
what
say
that meant about it.
I mean, taxi cab driver, bread truck driver, or a salesperson. Well, taxi cab driver, they're going to do a background check. That's not fair. Bread truck driver, I'm not getting up at 2:30 in the morning to deliver bread. So it left me with a sales job of a company that wouldn't do background checks. My first sales job was selling sides of beef.
Good.
Okay? But you know what?
Hopefully you didn't have to carry them around with you.
Yeah. It would stop. But think about this for a moment. What that did was I had to get that job because I needed that car.
Right.
Now, what that did was that started me down the journey of sales. And for several years, I couldn't stand sales. I was only doing it because of the car.
Right, got
and
it.
as soon as I could get a normal job. But then somewhere along the line, I became addicted to sales. Here's why I became addicted. I became addicted to sales because I realized it's not what I sell. When you're selling sides of beef, it's pretty hard to, this is really exciting.
Get excited about your
Get
beef.
excited about that beef. And in fact, I actually got fired from that job.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Another
It's okay.
story,
I got a different job, and I got fired from that one too.
Okay.
So I got fired from my first two
I
sales
got your
jobs.
beef, but go ahead.
Yeah, hey. And what is very interesting was it took me my third sales job before I really realized why I was in sales, and it was to help people. When you focus on it's not what you sell, it's not even how you sell, it's why. And think about this: for whatever job you do,
I agree.
it's why you do what you do. And what my whole goal was to help people. And if you take that approach, I actually have come to thoroughly love sales.
I'm going to back up a little bit. So you got fired from the jobs, and you found a job that you realized that you're helping people.
Right.
And what kinds of jobs were those? And,
Well,
and what
that-
was next?
Yeah, well, that job that I finally came to love was with a company called, at that time, it was called General Foods. It's called Heinz Kraft now. It's a small itty-bitty company.
Little company, yeah.
But I spent 12 years with them in sales and also marketing roles, and I moved with them all over the country. And I got a tremendous amount of skill set learning about being professionally and personally and so forth. So that was a terrific skill-based set. I spent 12 years with them. Absolutely loved it. And then it was just time to move on. I was working just outside of New York City, and it's just not where we wanted
Right.
to raise the kids.
Right.
So that's what moved us
Here you
here to
go.
Omaha.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so 12 years in major corporate America, you learned a ton, you traveled a ton, was it all sales type?
It was
environment?
sales, and also marketing, and I had tremendous experiences along the way, and that's really what brought me here to Omaha when I came to work for ConAgra. And I was with them for 6 years, and then I said, I don't want to work again. I don't want to. Well, what is work?
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
I quit. That's when I quit. And
Bring us to that moment, that aha moment, as they say. You had almost 20 years of corporate selling in by that time, and what hit in your brain? I mean, a lot of our listeners don't have the choice. They maybe got fired, maybe got laid off, or whatever, outsourced, downsized, you name it. But you had a voluntary separation. What led up to that, and what was the next first jump? That fearful first jump I'm trying to approach.
yeah, it wasn't an overnight. It was a thing in the back of my mind that I'd always wanted to go do something. I wanted to go do something. I thought maybe I'm going to buy a company. I'm going to do something. Looked at several things. Then what happened was, it came to the point that I was just no longer happy in my corporate job. I was just not a happy. I was just not a happy camper. And
Some people just aren't. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, and-
sometimes it takes us a lot of years to realize
Yeah.
that. Some people, and that's fine, people,
fine,
as they
right.
sit there and do that job and have the security and have the growth and have the reputation, the recognition, all that. That's great.
Right.
Some
And-
people don't fit
Yeah.
that, and it sounds like you didn't.
yeah, and my fear was I'd watched, and I had a tremendous position. I had moved up the corporate ladder, and I was afraid of one day getting stuck and growing old in corporate America.
Okay.
And so I
So
said,
you always had a little bit of a restless
so I
spirit.
always had a restless. And what happened was I was not happy. I was not happy in my job, and but there was no other job like that in Omaha.
Yeah.
I was approached by a company in Boston. We had already lived in Connecticut.
Been there, done that.
We've lived all
Right.
over the country.
Right,
and I
right.
said, no, screw. So that's really what led me to walk out the door. And I should.
You wanted to stay here.
Yeah, and I should have done something stupid to give me a big package. I didn't even do that. I didn't even do that. I literally just walked out the door.
Yeah.
And walked out the door and began on my own.
And what I mean, when you're in corporate
Yeah.
America and you're doing things and you run into bureaucracy and you run into sometimes the stupidity that's there, you just said, I can do this better by myself.
Well,
Or
yeah.
How did you formulate what's led up to this and,
Yeah.
and the sales under, et cetera?
I had developed a fairly good, extensive network of people I knew in a multitude of companies across America through my almost 20 years of doing corporate jobs. And so what I knew is I said, okay, I'm going to jump out on my own. I'm going to do consulting. I'm going to help other companies. And that's really what I did. And then I quit. And it was probably about 4 months before I got my first engagement.
Right. So
And believe me, you panic.
No, I bet,
You get
I bet.
scared. Yeah, believe me.
Well,
it's
and
not-
you're teaching selling, and so imagine that, leaving the corporate, well-paid, just safe job, and then jumping into your own thing, your own shingle. And again, maybe you are forced into that solopreneur world by being forced into it without choice. Maybe you were left by choice like Mark did.
Yeah.
But there he is, trying to sell his own services as a salesperson. What was that like?
Well, what I really realized is you can't sell yourself if you don't know what you are.
There you go.
See, now,
Beautiful, beautiful.
Stop and think about this for a moment. Oh, I can help companies. Well, how do you help companies? If you can't succinctly state how you're going to help improve somebody, why do you think they would ever hire you? They're not going to hire you. What I always say is you got to pick a very tight lane, very tight niche. That, oh, by the way, other people will pay for. People say, oh, I want to do this. Well, I'm sorry. It's like a lot of people go to college, and they come out of college with degrees that are absolutely worthless.
Yeah, yeah.
So, excuse me, you got to focus in on what people will pay for.
Right.
You know,
Beautiful, beautiful.
You may be a great chef, but if the food you're preparing nobody wants, guess what? You're not going to be a profitable chef.
Right. Backing up again, got that first gig. Was it a consulting gig?
That happened to be a consulting gig.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how long?
That lasted actually for several years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
I was with that consultant.
You said, see, honey, maybe there's hope, right?
Maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope. But believe me, it was a struggle the first 5 years.
Yeah.
It was a real struggle.
Well, and how long have you done this now?
I've been doing this 19 years.
Almost 20
so believe
years.
me, this isn't.
And when Mark and I were chatting off camera about the size of his email list, huge. The size of his LinkedIn and Facebook groups, huge. And what I talked about was this didn't happen. The size of his groups didn't happen overnight.
That's
And so if you jump into this whole thing, don't think about it. Gee, in 3 months I'm going to be the internet rock star.
No. This is interesting. 1 comes before 2. 2 comes before 3.
Good.
So if you're going to start an email list, well, guess what? 1 person. I started out with 1 person.
There you go.
And I went to 2 and 3 and 4.
And your wife wouldn't even email you
and
back.
my wife wouldn't even be on that list. Yeah. It was blocked. Yeah. So anyway,
Spam.
So I mean, you just literally. But what I had to learn. It took me several years to really define what your niche is. And here's the whole thing.
Well, before we get into the how-to, I want to get more. But stay with your story for just a little bit more. What were the 2 and the 3 that came after that, and how did they come? I mean, I hear you saying that they came because you're tightening your niche, and secondly, you were always about serving and helping people. But those 2 things were the foundations you built on. How did they? How did the next 2nd and 3rd and 4th clients come to be?
Yeah, well, it really. I mean, the first client came because I knew somebody who knew somebody.
That's usually how it works.
Really what it is. And then what happened was I was doing some networking at various organizations and so forth here in the Omaha area, and met some people who I connected me with another consulting company. So the first 5 years I was doing my thing it was 90% consulting. Now, there were some other contacts that were opening up some training doors. I partnered with a training company out of the UK for 6-7 years, doing a few days a month with them and so forth. So you pick up different. But see, this was part of the problem. I wasn't tightly niched. I was still. You got money? I can do it. I know. I work for food.
Everybody needs sales.
Everybody needs
to sell something. So I can help everybody, right?
In every way. And that's where it took me years to really tighten up that list. I mean, you need training. I can come in and do that. I can do this. I can do that. And you got to get tightly focused. My tagline today, as I was sharing with you,
please do. Is before we do that, right now, I mean, where this is all leading, after 5 or 6 years, you got more tightly niched, trial and error. You realize that, hey, I have to know something about this industry or this type of thing. And Mark has developed a wonderful elevator speech, a short one. I love those, and that's great. But in case someone doesn't know, tell what you do now, mostly,
Yeah.
or the keynote side.
What I do is I help
Where
sales.
this is all leading.
Right.
Yeah.
I help
Led.
salespeople and companies find and retain better prospects that they can close at full price.
Tell that to the viewers. It's so good.
I help salespeople and companies find and retain better prospects that they can close at full price. Now, the
And
question.
who wouldn't want? And then I, as another dude in the elevator, say, "That's interesting, Mark. How do you do that?"
Well, have you ever had to discount a price to close a deal?
I have, as a headhunter, many times.
Right. And why is it that you've had to discount a price?
They say it's competition.
And what I'll come back and say, see, I'm going to help you find better prospects. And so, hey, have you ever heard of Walmart?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Well,
have.
see, here's the little thing that you can't take a Walmart shopper and make them a Nordstrom customer. If you're Nordstrom,
You
you got
take
to
a
start
Walmart
with
shopper and make them a Nordstrom
Right.
customer. And that's all about the prospect.
That's really
the
all about
quality of the
prospects.
prospect.
Because what I find is that too many people can't close sales or close at the price they want to because they're starting off with the wrong prospect.
Well, hold that thought. I want you to mention about the pipeline.
Yep.
That's an old.
Yep.
Mark has a new spin on it that I hadn't heard before. And also, if you would consider sharing that conversation you had with the CEO about whether you should discount your price or not.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And we're getting a little bit of the cart before the horse. I did want to thank our sponsors real quickly on today's broadcast. First of all, ZipRecruiter.com. ZipRecruiter takes the hard part of your job and makes it easy using a dashboard that will provide you with resumes and no emails and just a whole lot less phone calls with ZipRecruiter.com. And now you can use ZipRecruiter.com for free just by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. So I've used it, Mark, as a headhunter, as a person looking for jobs, and it's a great tool. So anyway, also so I'd like to thank OnQMarketing.com. When you want to be found on a Google search, check out OnQMarketing.com. Jeff Quant, great friend of the show, and be sure to check them out for either video marketing assistance or that Google engine search assistant. Say that fast 3 times. At any rate, so thanks to our sponsors. Mark, so it's been a little bit of a long journey, starting right 4 months without sale,
food.
without food. I've been there, done that too many times. And at any rate, getting that sale and then incrementally building through your networking and through people you knew, and you eventually narrowed it down. This is advice for people wanting to launch their own solopreneur type thing, right?
Right.
Narrowing it down, narrowing that niche, and we could go on for hours about that, of course, and we only have a few minutes left, of course. But all those tools, and then at one point I think you got away from exchanging your time for money directly. You got into more of the keynote type
Right.
thing. And as a keynote speaker, I mean, Mark is selling himself as a sales trainer, sales keynote speaker, inspirational sales leadership. And sometimes a CEO of a company might want to screen him before they bring him in for these nice fees, which Mark has worked his way up to. Tell that story of the gentleman who you had talked with, because I think this shows great sales savvy. And we'll talk about what worked after he's told the story.
A company had reached out to me, and they were talking to some of my staff about having me come in and speak to their national sales meeting. Great. And it was all going along fine. My assistant told me, I think they're going to hire you. And then she said, oh, by the way, the CEO wants to talk to you on the phone.
Fine,
Well,
then.
we had already done some background. One of the reasons they wanted to bring me in was because they were having a real competitive threat. Major
You
outcome.
asked him a question.
I asked him a question. And
So often people, there's a new show out there, reality show. By the way, CNBC, you need to pick this show up versus the job interview I watched it the other night. And they ask a guy, a candidate, to sell you this pen, and everybody starts talking about the features of
Right,
the pen.
right.
Whereas, I don't know if you forwarded it one time. I saw the thing on LinkedIn somewhere where they walked through a whole process. They said, "Sell me this pen." I said, "Well, when was the last time you used a pen? What was the first thing?" It's a question.
Right.
Mark asked
Right.
a question
Right.
to the CEO, and you got the gig.
It's called engagement. And it's the same thing in an interview. In an interview, what is the person who's interviewing you? They want to find out who you are, what your personality is. So I want to engage. And in sales, that's what I'm doing. I'm engaging people. So what I was doing was I was engaging. That's what I do with my customers. I never put the price out on the table until I know what the outcome is that they're looking for. I just
And
don't.
what their problems are. you
What
know.
their problems are.
And
yeah.
how do you learn that? This follows up for you viewers as well. If you're going to a job interview, if you're a solopreneur trying to sell more of your business, what do you have to lead with, Mark? Questions.
Right. You lead with the questions. And what I find for everybody is it's your personality. Let your personality come through. And I thoroughly enjoy that because I want to connect with you as a this is whether I'm a salesperson or a candidate. I want to connect with you. And I do that by allowing my personality.
Well, so many things are a commodity. A side of
Oh.
beef. You're selling a side of beef. There's nowhere in the world anybody could get a side of beef, right?
That's right.
Or a book. Or in fact, that's a question I have for you. I want to be mean to you. I say, Mark, keynote speakers are a dime a dozen. I can Google sales speakers, and I've got how many results? A lot. Why should I hire you? What makes you different than everybody else?
I'm not saying you should hire me, but here's what I want to know from you. Why are you hiring a keynote speaker? I want to know why. See?
I don't know if I can make a cue here. That's supposed to be a cue for question. You see what he did? First thing he did was ask me a question, a clarifying question. And so that's what will help all of us. Our show starts out with the question, what is your career dilemma? And hopefully that engages you a little bit as opposed to me start blabbing, which I do too much of. Mark asked the question. You saw it beautifully. Rewind the tape and listen to the tape. I said tape.
Tape. That dates you.
Did I really say tape?
Yeah.
At any rate, and so Mark's beautiful at that. I think since due to time, we're going to. I think you learned a very key consideration here today, and that is the use of questions. Any brief wrap up of the use of questions in your
Well,
work?
it's not the question you ask. It's the follow-up question you ask. Now,
Okay.
think about this one, okay?
Okay.
I ask you a question, and you
Right.
share with me your response. And what happens so many times is that we then race on because
Yes,
I
yes.
really didn't want to hear your
Yes.
answer.
Yes.
But what I want to do is I want to ask you a follow-up question to what you share with me. Then that suddenly
Yeah.
says, wow, you are really interested. Now think about this from an interview standpoint. You do that with somebody who you're interviewing with, and you will elevate your status
Absolutely,
with them.
absolutely. And I've told the story before. Once I brought a technical consultant into a potential client for the interview. Here's the manager, here's the consultant, and I'm just the guy they let me sit in the room. And first thing the consultant did was he sat down and started asking relevant questions about their network and their computer. And the manager never got a question off. Immediately they're having a conversation about their problems and about their system and what this guy can do for them. And guess what? He got the job. And so I think your point is well taken about a relevant question,
Right.
a good follow-up question. The other day I was on the phone with someone who's marketing senior services, and I asked some questions, and she just kept talking. And I tried to butt in a couple times, but she was positive she wanted to get out her talking points. And it all worked out in the end because I know her and blah, blah, blah. She's great. But the point is, I couldn't butt in. I couldn't butt in to ask a question, and I was the customer.
If all you have is talking points, they can get that on the internet. They don't need you.
Yeah.
Everything today is about the discussion and conversation.
That's right.
That's what it's about.
Mark has put a lot of his thoughts and strategies, there's no time to cover all this in a short show here, into a wonderful book. I have not read it yet. I hope this.
You're going to. I
did you
signed
autograph it?
I autographed it to you.
Look
so,
at that.
So
Look
you
at that.
feel better. So yeah. So there you
You
go.
too can get one
There you go.
off Amazon and meet
There you
Mark
go.
and he'll talk
There
with
you go. See?
the
See?
Paul
Right
right there. How about that? Great. Well, awesome. Thank you, Mark. I will most definitely read that. Anyway, tell us about the book, why you wrote it, what's
Yeah.
in it, and how it helps.
High profit prospecting is about helping to show you strategies to find better prospects as to how you're going to be able to get that dream client, that dream customer. It also works from an interviewing standpoint because I'm going to show you how do you prospect to find who's that right company you should be working for. So yes, it's good for salespeople, but I think it works for a job candidate.
Well, it works, like we talked about earlier in the show. Everything's about selling ourselves.
Everything.
I mean,
We're all in sales.
You
We're all in
sell,
sales.
where can they get this, by the way?
They can get it at Amazon. They can get Barnes & Noble. They can get it almost any online place at a lot of bookstores.
Beautiful. Published by a real publisher and all that, not self-published. I forgot the name of it.
Amicom?
No, publisher.
Now, Amacom, it's the publishing arm of AMA.
Yeah, Amacom. Okay, Amacom. I got it. So it's the real deal. It's his second book, and it's got a lot of wisdom. I can't wait to. I know it because I've talked with Mark a lot, and I know what's in his head, and I recommend it to you because we sell to our spouse, we sell to our kids, we sell to our churches, we sell ourselves in the workplace.
Every day.
And I mean, people don't like the word sell sometimes. We persuade, we influence, right?
See, maybe if I had done a better job of selling the Seattle Police Department when they stopped me 4 times, I would not be in sales. So clearly,
who knows what you'd be doing?
Yeah,
right
clearly. Maybe I'd be in advertising like I wanted to be.
Or in a selling beef or carving beef. Who knows?
No.
Bad memory. Don't go there. Sure. Well, great. This has been outstanding. I want you to, because it's such a good elevator speech, I would like you to say it one more time.
Yeah.
Because what I want, so often you hear an elevator speech, you got to do this. I don't know about you, but my attention span is about 8 or 9 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think most people in this day and age, my phone has 1,000 notifications on it. In this day and age, there's so much information. I think you only get about that long, don't you?
So what I like to do when I do my elevator, I actually like to start off with a question. Do you ever have to discount your price to close a sale? Yes, you do. Well, see, what I do is I help people like you find and retain better prospects that you can close at that price.
Beautiful. That ties in with this, the book. Give us 30 seconds on nichemanship. I mean, you can cover the whole world in 30 seconds, can't you?
Well, yeah, nichemanship. What you want to do ultimately is you want to create a very tight niche, the narrow lane in a big market. Sales is a big market, but see, what I do is I niche to the prospecting in a B2B environment. See, so what I do is I niche down, and I niche down even further, not only prospecting the B2B market, but to get full price. See what I've done? The sales, tight niche.
Prospecting. Oh, pipe. Real quick.
Pipe, yes.
Pipe
One of the
story.
things I love talking about pipe is so many people say, I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more.
I need more job
I need more
leads, I need more
so-
whatever.
And they're all in my pipeline. But what you have is you have a pipeline that's a sewer pipe because it's so plugged in. What I want to do is I want to have a water tank. I want to have a very skinny pipe. Because what I want to do is I want to have fewer prospects that I can spend more time with. Think about that.
More prospects, less suspects.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mark, it's been a joy. We could go on for hours, I'm sure. I want to get my, before I do that, how can people reach you, connect with you?
Well, the best way is thesaleshunter.com. Hunter is my real last name. I didn't change it. I did not change it. And the website is thesaleshunter.com.
It's a good website, got some good testimonials on there. I wanted to ask this question, we ran out of time, but someone said on your testimonials, something about documenting increased results as a result of your presentation. Can you tell us?
That's
14 seconds on
right.
that.
Right. What I do is I say if you don't deliver an ROI that people can measure, then your time with them was a waste. So I challenge clients whenever I work with them. We're going to define what is the ROI, what is the expectation, and we're going to measure that. That's how we say, boom. There's
Beautiful.
A result. There's a
Bottom
result.
line, measurement, results. Too many speakers are entertainment.
Right.
And Mark is results. So consider him for your next sales keynote. Consider him for coaching. And consider me for when you want to discover, define, and deliver your most marketable assets. That's what freejobcoaching.com does. Here is my very high-tech contact information. I'll hold it up. Video is a video realization. And Mark, you have broke new ground with us because you're episode 25. What is that anniversary? Wood or paper or silver or something? I don't know.
I have no idea, but let's go for 26.
We'll
okay?
go for 26. Will you come back and visit us
I'll be
again?
happy to do it again.
Mark, thank you. Let's
so much.
walk over here and say hi to the studio audience.
bet. Thanks a
See you next week on That Career Dilemma Show.